Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I am reviewing Andor Season 1 Episode 3, which was directed by Toby Haynes and written by Tony Gilroy. It was released on September 21st, 2022. So yeah, which I thought was a great episode. I'd probably say it's my favorite of the three released so far. But you know, I still really enjoyed those first two episodes. But this episode just felt like the third act of a movie, I guess. You know, stuff's starting to go down and whatnot. It gets a little bit faster in pacing and whatnot. There's some more action. The tension levels rise. But, you know, it has all that while also still having everything great from the first two episodes. With more slower character moments and whatnot. There are also a few smaller moments in this episode. What I really liked from secondary characters we met in those first two episodes, which, you know, were great in this episode because we got to meet them and learn who they were in the more slower first two episodes. But the episode kind of picks up right where the last one left off. You know, we see Cassian meet up with Brasso, which he tells him that, you know, he'll have the money, I guess he owes him, but you know, Brasso will have to go to Marva instead because Cassian's gonna have to leave the planet tonight, which we then see Luthen kind of get into town and he meets up with Bix, who, you know, tells him what's going on with Cassian and whatnot, and how the Corbos are after him, which Luthen has already knew that Cassian had killed someone on Morlana 1 and whatnot, but, you know, still wants to go through with the deal. But later we see Cassian, you know, arrive at the meeting place he's supposed to meet Luthen at. But we see the Corpos arrive on Ferrix and start looking for Cassian. They head to Marva's home and kind of mess with her and whatnot and try to get some answers out of her. But this one guy finds out and then heads to Bix and tells her what's going on and whatnot. But she kind of suspects that someone ratted Cassian out, which Tim then kind of accidentally reveals that it was him, which, you know, upsets Bix, who then heads out to find Cassian. But we see the Corpos still, you know, trying to get answers out of Marva and also B2. But Cassian then starts talking to B2 over the comms he gave to him, you know, about everything going on, which obviously the Corpos can hear it. And so they track down the signal, which we then see Luthen arrive at the meeting place. And we see him and Cassian kind of talk. This scene we've actually already seen because they've released it online and whatnot. But we see Cassian selling this like Imperial box thing to Luthen, which Luthen isn't really there for the box. He's actually more there for Cassian to kind of recruit him into fighting the Empire, which, you know, obviously Luthen just doesn't straight up reveal that to Cassian, trying to figure out who Cassian is and whatnot, you know, and if he's, you know, the person he's looking for, which, you know, Luthen asks Cassian how he got that box, which Cassian says, you know, he just walked in like he belonged and whatnot. But talk some more. Luthen kind of reveals that he knows some stuff about Cassian, how, you know, his father was hung and whatnot, and, you know, kind of Luthen then kind of slowly reveals what he's actually looking for, which, like I said, is actually Cassian. But you know, Luthen finds out that, you know, Cassian has a comlink on him, and that, you know, the Corpos have most likely tracked them. So he asks Cassian to kind of give him the comlink, and he destroys it. Which they learn that someone, you know, the Corpos are there, and so Luthen kind of blows up the entrance to this. They're in this like little factory. Because I guess he planted charges on the door before coming in, which it kills the one Corpo. But Cassian tries to go back for the box, but there's more Corpos there, so there's kind of a shootout. But eventually Luthen gets Cassian to kind of leave the box behind, and they then head out to go into town to find a way back to Luthen's ship. But all while that was going on, you know, we do see Serial Karn, Sergeant Linus Moss, which they were there messing with Marva, but the Corpos who got into the shootout with us and Cassian, you know, weren't with Karn and Mosk, which they're heading to the factory, and that's when they kind of learn what went down, and that they learn that they're coming towards town, so they kind of bunker down and wait for them to come to them. But we also kind of see the civilians of Ferrex reacting to the Corbos. We see them starting like banging on pieces of metal, which I guess is maybe to warn everyone that the Corbos are there and whatnot. But we also see Bix, trying to find Cassian, but some of the Corbos find her and kind of stop her and then kind of beat her up, kind of for no reason. Which then Tim eventually comes and finds Bix and kind of gets mad at the Corpos for what they're doing to Bix, which the one Corpo shoots and kills Tim, once again for really no good reason, which the one that killed him kind of gets sent back to the drop ship for aerial coverage, but those Corpos kind of get told over to comms what's going on, whatnot, and do kind of come to meet up and whatnot. But we also once again see Brasso, which he's in the kind of scrapyard with the you kind of see him walking away from the Corbo's dropship. It seems like he did something or whatnot. But we see back with Marva, which she's still in her house with these two other Corbos, which I really, really love this scene. She kind of just talks fear into them. She's talking about the banging and whatnot and how it's bothering them and whatnot, which she then says that they should be more worried when it stops because a reckoning will come, which eventually the banging does stop, and so those Corbos leave, which we see all the other ones just kind of waiting for Cassian and Luthen to show up, but the one that went to the dropship tries to fly off with it, but once in the air, we learned that Brasso had tied it to a big long rod, tied a big long rod to the dropship, to this big piece of scrap, so the Corpo can't kind of control the ship, and he kind of crashes the ship and dies, which, the Corbos are kind of wondering if it was Cassian and Luthen and whatnot. But we see Karn, who's hiding out in a building. He kind of enters and kind of shoots at some these aliens, creatures who were just living in the house, which we then see them kind of running in the back alley, and Cassian and Luthen see them. So they head into the building, and we see Cassian kind of sneak up and confront Karn and kind of get him to drop his weapon and comlink, which Cassian then destroys. And Cassian asks Karn how many men are there with them, which Karn answers that there's 14. But Luthen tells Cassian to kill him, which we don't see what happens next, but we see Cassian and Luthen then find some speeders, and Cassian asks Luthen if he still has some charges left. But we then see those two Corpos who came from Marva's house kind of running, and they hear someone screaming, which they head into this building and find that it's a tied up Karn, which, that Cassian doesn't kill him, ties him up, which they kind of get him free. And then we see a speeder leave the building, which he yells at it's Cassian and Luthen, which you kind of see all the Corpos like shooting at the speeder, and it flips over, and they then go to investigate it. But then Cassian and Luthen ride out on a different speeder, and they blow up the other one, killing some of the surrounding Corpos. But the episode ends with a montage of all the characters and whatnot. We see Cassian and Luthen head to a ship and then leave the planet, and then just all the other characters reacting to what happened. We see Karn just kind of standing there looking at the blown up speeder, I guess kind of in shock. We see now one guy who warned Bix about the Corpos come and free her, and we see her upset over the death of Tim. We see Marva with B2 kind of crying in her house. We see Brasso sitting at the cantina having a drink, thinking about what he did. But we also got more flashbacks in the episode also, which played out throughout the episode. We see Cassian, or at this time Casa, in that maybe separatist ship, she kind of sees his reflection in it, and so it's like just destroying it and whatnot. But we then see B2, Marva, and this man named Clem Andor. At least I think that's his name according to the credits. They're kind of in the ship and they find him, which just seems like they're there to kind of steal something. And they have to go quick because the Republic ship is coming into orbit, the planet and whatnot. But Marva wants to rescue Casa. So she does that, kind of takes him with them, and we see him leave on their ship. But the scene definitely more interesting because Marva refers to the dead people in the Separatist uniforms as Republic officers. So definitely interested to see what's going on there. We see Marva and Clem, they kind of have like masks on that, I guess help with whatever this poison is, like poisonous gas, which seemed to affect all these like Separatist or Republic officers. But I guess it's fine now. So definitely interested in what's going on there. And definitely I'm assuming right now with because Marva refers to him as Republic officers, and they have Separatist logos on their uniform. Maybe thinking they're actually Republic and they're disguising themselves as Separatist. Maybe just because there's some poisonous gas, all the dead ones in these Separatist uniforms are all like yellow. So maybe the Republic was doing some war crimes and wanted to frame it on the Separatists if they got caught. That's my best guess. I don't know. I would assume we'll end up seeing more, of what's going on there, and more of Canary. It definitely seems like from the trailers there was some more stuff, from Canary and whatnot, but I'm not fully sure. But the episode, like I said, how it ended with Cassian kind of leaving Ferrix with Luthen. It's kind of intercut with him leaving Canary with Marva. We kind of see him at two different points of his life, kind of having to leave his then homeworld, even though he might not have wanted to exactly. So I'm definitely interested to see what happens, there with him leaving Canary. In this flashbacks, obviously I don't know if we'll have more flashbacks in future episodes or not, but definitely interested there. Obviously then with Cassian heading off with Luthen, just interested to see where Luthen takes him and whatnot. We know Luthen will head to Coruscant at some point and meet up with Mon Mothma, so I do wonder if we'll take Cassian there also. But we do also know from trailers that Cassian will eventually also head back to Ferrix, and that the Empire will also head to Ferrix, because we've seen stormtroopers there and whatnot, so definitely it's just there. But, just talking about Ferrix, I really loved the setting, I guess, just because of all the characters we've met. A character like Brasso, who's not really in this episode a whole lot, he's not really in the first two episodes a whole lot, but just the few conversations he's had with Cassian I really liked, and then seeing him take out that Corbo ship and whatnot was cool. I really loved Marva in this episode. I thought she was great. Some of my favorite scenes, honestly I would say my favorite scene in the episode was with her kind of talking to those Corbos. The stuff with Bix and Tim was also great. Definitely with Tim, obviously he dies, and I thought he was an interesting character. He did a bad thing, and because of that, you kind of don't like him for it, and he does pay, the ultimate price, and in the moment he does die, it's like, because he kind of did a bad thing against our, the main character with, Cassian. You should kind of feel like happy that he died, but it's not played like that or shown like that, or you don't really actually end up feeling that way for him. You kind of feel bad that he died. So I really like this character because of that. I wouldn't say he was a bad guy. He did a bad thing, which could have led to a very bad outcome for Cassian, and Cassian maybe dying. but it ended up leading to his own death instead because of a mistake he made. And even though that mistake was kind of a bad thing to do, I don't think he was just a straight up bad person, just a guy who made a mistake, which, if it didn't lead to his death, it could have led to the death of someone else, but, did lead to his own, and do kind of feel bad for him. But, obviously his death was at the hands of the Corvos, who right now I'd say are definitely bad. They're just so evil. Definitely, Linus Mosk, he's just that, some guy just want to punch in the face. So yeah, but obviously the Serial Karn, definitely, interesting. He's interesting also, because I'm not really fully sure what, what path he's heading down, I guess. We see him being, an asshole, I guess, where we're really wanting to go after Cassian and whatnot. But, we obviously see him, I don't know, just a few moments where there's just, doubt within him. I'm not fully sure where he's going. Right now, I still think he's probably going to maybe become an Imperial or something like that. But I have no clue. We'll just have to wait and see where he goes. But, once again, I thought the production value was great. Loved the Ferrix sets and whatnot. The score was great. I really liked the action scenes. Really liked the, slower, more character scenes. Just all around, thought it was a great episode. Very excited to see where it goes next. So yeah, but my grade for this one is going to be an A. So yeah. But anyways, that's going to be it for this one. I'll be doing a review of episode 4 next week, or when it comes out. So you can check it out then. But in the meantime, you can check out my reviews for the first 2 episodes. And I also did a first thoughts video on these 3 episodes, which you can check out also. It's like a non-spoiler first thought review thingy. So yeah, but that's gonna be it for this one. I've been Starzy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
They're so proud of themselves, so fat and satisfied.